What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to go over some pretty ginormous Scream 5 or Scream 2022 leaks. Now, I quickly do want to say this was posted on Critical Overlord's Twitter account. I've talked about him before. He does Scream content. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about him. I'll leave his link in the description below. Amazing guy. In fact, we're also going to do a collaboration very, very soon. But he posted this, and I don't necessarily know. I mean, it's a form submission I have T Scream 5 news. So it said sent via form submission from Dex Moy, and hopefully I'm sorry, it could be something else how you pronounce it. But I think these are very, very big stories, and I want to talk about them with you guys. As always, if you guys do like this stuff, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter in case I ever see anything like this again, make sure you do. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Would love to have you guys over there. All right, so it says pseudonames, please. Wes Craven. Email, it gives no thanks lol at gmail.com. Subject Scream 5 news. So I think this is a submission form that you have to fill out certain things, but you know, he obviously he kind of has a lot of fun with it. And then it says message. A lot of people are wondering about the new Scream movie. I can say a couple of things. Number one, don't get attached to anyone. Seriously, haha, there's some surprising kills. Number two, they're going to set up for a sequel, Scream 6. Number three, it has a similar vibe to the first and second installments. Number four, the OGs, Neve, Courtney, and David, give their best performance in this one. Number five, a really popular new artist recorded a song for the credits. She shares a name with a popular Friends character. And number six, the post-production team is taking their time with the editing process because they have multiple endings to work with. So, I think it's very important when we talk about these kind of things to take it with a grain of salt, right? I always say that normally I cover game leaks, game news, game rumors, so it's kind of fun to be able to do it for a movie, and not just any movie, but a movie franchise. Obviously, one of my top, right? One of the ones I'm absolutely in love with. So, you know, again, you got to take it with a grain of salt. There's no way of confirming, and we don't even know where this guy is or who this guy is. So he could definitely be lying. Some of this stuff, by the way, is actually, you could argue all of it is just like speculation. None of it would be actual, like, you know, you don't have to know, I would say, anything deep within the movie filming process in order to predict these things. So these are things to take with a grain of salt. But let's say that they're true. Let's go through them one more time. We'll break down each one. So don't get attached to anyone. Seriously, there's some surprising kills. That makes sense. It's a Scream movie, right? Honestly, like when I read this, I don't know why. Like Jenna Ortega is the first one that comes to mind. I really... Like, this movie really does, I feel like, have to do something very surprising. We talked about it before. Is that Dewey? Is that Gail? Like, who is it Sydney, right? Or is it multiple of them? Is it, you know, a lot of the newer cast that you bring in? Like, obviously, they're big names, but a lot of them are going to be taken out. Again, it's a Scream movie. We know that's going to happen. But when you say, I don't know, don't get attached to anyone. Anyone is in all caps. To me, that really does signal one of the OGs is definitely, I would say, in grave danger. And also, even like the newer people that they brought in, I don't know if they're all, like, especially the bigger names, again, like the Dylan Minnette, Jenna Ortega, like these people, I don't know. Now, I don't think all of them will be, you know, eliminated, but I do think some of them will. So again, like, that's not something you need to be there on set in order to know. I could say that out loud right now and call it a leak and be proven right later down the line, right? But it's just something to keep in mind. They're going to set up for a sequel. Makes sense. You know, it's the fifth movie in the franchise, and although it's just called Scream, it's not called Scream 5, it's still very much, we know it's connected. It's the next movie in that order, so it comes after, and that's another thing you got to think about, right? It comes after Scream 4, but it would set up a sequel. Honestly, I've seen people say, like, would it set up another trilogy? Would this be 5, 6, 7? Would you do that? Is it just a 5, 6? Honestly, in a lot of ways, it's funny. I cover Pirates of the Caribbean quite often on this channel, if you guys have seen that stuff. Scream and Pirates is very similar in terms of how the order has gone and how they've shifted things and all kinds of stuff like that. They both have very distinct trilogies, and then they both tried a fourth movie after the trilogy. Now, Scream did it a whole lot later, but they were both intended to be reboots of sorts, okay? They both wanted them to kind of restart the franchise, and ironically, both of them failed. Pirates 4 failed, and for different reasons, because Pirates 4 actually made the second most amount of money of any Pirates movie, but Pirates 4 failed, Scream 4 failed, okay? And now you have the fifth one. Now, Pirates already did a fifth one, and the fifth one for Pirates was intended again as a soft reboot, but to get it ready for a sixth movie, to do a back-to-back, to do a 5, 6, and then end it. Scream, I don't know if they would do the same thing. Would they do 5, 6, and then, call it quits there? Would they keep going? Obviously, that is up to them. That's just a fun little side thing that I wanted to throw in there, because I do think it's kind of funny that these franchises are kind of similar, and they're the two franchises I cover in terms of movies the most. It has a similar vibe to the first and second installments. Again, kind of obvious. Those are widely perceived as the best Scream movies, so you probably do want to mimic them. As I have said countless times in these videos, I don't want just a ripoff. I don't want a Star Wars Episode 7. Now, Star Wars Episode 7 was actually really good, but where we're at this point with, and it's the same, like that's how I've always said it with Scream. We're at this point where I do want something radically different, which is going to be funny, because then if they do something so different, I'm like, oh, I hated that. Like, they shouldn't have done that. It's kind of like a hypocritical thing for me to say, like, later down the line, right? But I do want it to be different. Like, I want them to take risks. I want the opening to be different than what we normally get. I want the ending to be different than we normally get. I want how the killers are revealed and all that stuff. I don't want literally a repeat of Scream 1 and 2. I really don't. And so at the same time, I get this movie is going to very much reflect those. I think you can reflect the first and second movie without downright copying it. This one's exciting, and this one is something, by the way, that I guess you like, anybody could say this, but the fact that they throw this in could be, hey, here's some credibility for me later on, right? The OGs, Neve, Courtney, and David, give their best performance in this one. Honestly, if one of them dies, I do think that would immediately make it their best performance, especially because they have to act it out, right? This is what we all hope for. We all hope that these three's performance is very good. Honestly, none of them have ever truly phoned it in. It's not like a movie franchise where sometimes you go into and you're like, oh, this one clearly doesn't care anymore, or it's something that I think they all probably needed to be won over in order to get into this movie anyway, especially Neve, right? She wasn't gonna do it if it wasn't good. So considering they were all we don't know, and Courtney and David were obviously a little bit different than that, but I think all three of them probably needed something to be able to get them into the movie. So if you're gonna do that, you're probably gonna give a good performance. So again, not maybe the most wild thing of all time, but to see them give their best performance, I think they've already given some pretty darn amazing performances, so we'll have to see, but that definitely is exciting. Honestly, I don't care about the other one, a really popular new artist record a song. I'm a music guy, but I like 90s rock. That's really, and punk rock and stuff like that. So I'm not really, I don't know. I don't really honestly care about all that. But now I did see somebody say she shares a name with a popular Friends character. And somebody said Phoebe, because Phoebe obviously is the main character in Friends. So we can maybe, I really, truly don't care about that one. And then this one's odd to me. The post-production team is taking their time with the editing process because they have multiple endings to work with. Now, I don't know super hardcore the history of Scream and the filming of it and all that stuff, but I would imagine maybe they've done this before. Maybe they did this now, and well, I don't know, because with Scream 4, the story with Kevin Williamson is he had multiple scripts before the script that was eventually used for Scream 4, and the other scripts were completely, the ending was completely different, but I don't think they filmed that, so this would maybe be a different one, and honestly, this could just be because they're bringing it back. They want complete secrecy. They don't want it to get out, because ultimately, a movie like Scream or Scream 5, whatever you want to call it, it will absolutely get ruined if a week, 2 weeks, a month, 5 months before the movie comes out, it is leaked to the ending. Okay, that would absolutely, would it kill it? I still think people would go see it, but that would truly hurt massively people's intention to go see this movie. Okay, but if you have multiple endings that you've done and maybe one of those leaks, and if they do, maybe they do it on purpose, maybe they don't do it on purpose, but if people start to see that and they go see the movie and it's something completely different, that's a big thing. The Walking Dead is the only thing, because I'm not like a diehard, I don't know all these things about movies, especially horror movies. The Walking Dead, remember when Negan was taking out, when he was doing the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, they filmed him kill quite quite a few different people, including Maggie, like an entire scene there. So they did that on purpose just in case something, got out. But that was never their intention for the end, or that was not what they were going to do for the episode. So I wonder if it's similar here, where they filmed quite a few different endings in general, but they really only have a purpose for one of them. They know, okay, well, we filmed 4, but one of them is our ending. The other 3 we'll edit, we'll get it ready. Maybe we'll even leak one of them. Maybe we won't, but maybe like if somebody asks, however they may do it, but we're going to have multiple endings just in case, okay? And maybe that's how they're going to do it. I would imagine for something like this, maybe they took that extra mile and did something like that, okay? And they could say, hey, we filmed multiple endings so the cast doesn't know. I mean, again, honestly, I think certain people in the cast do know. I think they do have, if they ever say that we don't know which ending we're using, I really don't think that's true. I think at this point of the process, they have picked it, and if they haven't, that's kind of odd. They're kind of like, oh, we'll just wait and see, and then like a week before, we'll say, yeah, that one probably works, right? I don't know. I don't think that's how it works, but that's also just not how I would personally do it. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this is real? Do you think it's fake? Do you have anything to say about any of the specific points? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Podcast now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I know I normally make these videos on a Tuesday. Not happening this time. I'm doing it on a Monday because I think this is big news, right? We'll do another one next week, probably going back to Tuesday. Again, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle if you guys want to follow me there. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.